We have one here. There are already some that are being approved going towards the highway area as well. And so it's not that one community has shoved it in one community's direction. It's just making sure that they're in areas that have high access to transportation routes. We have I-10, 210, even Opelousas Street. Most people may not know it is a state highway, Highway 3020. We've got access to 90, we've got access to Highway 14. Just makes it so accessible there, as well as, again, this is an area, again, on these particular 20 acres that are all woods. On one side is a continued wooded track, also bordered by the Cayuchi Coulee. On the north side is I-10. On the east side will be woods for a period of time, and then that will be the new Mount Olive location. And then on one side there's the Opelousas Street. So on three sides you almost have pure infrastructure that has been designed. So I don't believe it's something that's been pushed on the community away from other communities. It's just been something that has found its place here. And again, we did make those efforts to reach out and speak to various different communities. Again, I do want to say that we could have done a better job, and I can assure you in the future we will do a better job. Yeah. We will expand that communication.
The communication definitely is not as clear and communicated as it should have been. Mm-hmm. But going forward, it's definitely something you guys have to address. A couple of community concerns. Mm-hmm. Traffic.
Absolutely. No, traffic is definitely going to be something that we are already starting to talk about. We have gone from the very inception of this concept. One of the very first things that we began to consider was traffic. Not only did we put that stipulation on ourselves, but also the police jury, as well as planning and zoning, have actually already in the agreement for our permitting that we have to do traffic studies, which is very important. But we've talked to DOTD both here locally on Highway 90, also down. We've had a chance to meet with the executive directors in Baton Rouge as well about how we can mitigate the traffic issue. One way we're mitigating the traffic issues is we're already taking 2,800 cars off the road, translating those into a height of maybe 40 buses. And so there's a huge mitigation of traffic just in mitigating 2,800 individual cars that would be going back and forth to work, putting them in a temporary housing facility, then busing them where they go. So you go from 2,800 cars to about 40 buses. Not only that, but again, we do have several routes. We've got the Opelousas west route that'll take you up towards Highway 14, cross Highway 14, enter then the highway going west over the bridge right there at the Exxon entrance there. We also, of course, can come down 397 going come up to 397 going east, enter there at the Cameron Clow exit. We also have the route that we can go down Bunker Road, come up to 90, and then enter there at a more feasible location as well. So there's several traffic options that we're looking at, but we're also talking to DOTD about expanding Opelousas potentially. There's already kind of a plan that's already been talked about a 3-lane with a turning lane in the middle, but also a potential 4-lane as well. And either one of those plans, we would love to ensure that there's sidewalks and things along those lines, because truth be known, I travel that way every single day. From my church at 600 North 7th Street to my home over in Highway, I travel that exact location every day.
And it's high traffic,
and I see people walking that street and different things along those lines, and so I understand to that effect the need of making sure that that problem is mitigated very early on.
Next concern is public safety. Like we said earlier, there's going to be some percentage of craziness.
Of course.
With every large group of people. And someone at the police jury meeting said their daughters catch the bus by themselves right on the corner of Sharon Lane and Opelousas.
Absolutely.
So directly across the street from your man camp is little girls catching the bus.
Absolutely.
So what's your security aspect to secure the safety of the people currently in the neighborhood from theft, from like the fear of little girls and little boys being approached by people they don't know, but like just overall safety?
Absolutely. Again, that is a preeminent decision and some things that we looked into, very important. I actually was very touched by that particular story because I have a daughter myself that is now going to school. She's 5 years old now, and so that's very important to me that we secure the safety of those individuals, particularly down Sharon Lane, but of course expanding that radius from 14 all the way to 397 and even across the community as well. We will have the best security that is available. We are already in discussions with individuals, everyone from Tony Mancuso. We've had a meeting with him. We've had a meeting with Don Dixon and Mark Krause over at the Lake Charles Police Department. We've talked to individuals over at the Marshal's office as well as the state troopers. We will have the best security. They are very, very forward by telling us that if there's one incident, it will be handled with the level of severity that there will not be a second. And we are in total agreement and total compliance with that, because the whole idea is to make sure that our communities are organized and not overrun. And that's why we're going to organize this for transient community, that they can have an organized community and not be overrun across the community as well. And so safety is very important. We would love to do some things for Sharon Lane. There's several things that our group is already talking about, potentially putting sidewalks there, making sure that there's a covered bus stop like there is for public transit and things along those lines, as well as having one of our security guards that will be on staff 24/7, make sure that they are over there with them when they catch the bus in the morning. They'll already be on staff. It's nothing for one of our guards to walk from the gate to make sure that they're there when the children arrive and make sure that they see those children off. That is something that we're looking forward to. Those security personnel, we have already made sure with our national partners, those are going to be local people who have patrolled the streets of North Lake Charles already. And so they'll have a heart for the community. Some of them will live in the community, as well as we have a very big heart for the individuals that live here. And so we believe that they're going to take that extra step. We're going to require them to take that extra step, but we believe they will even go above and beyond, especially by walking across that street, making sure those young children arrive to the bus stop safely, get on the bus stop safely, as well as get off the bus stop safely. And so I believe there will be someone stationed and patrolling that particular area in particular, because that issue has been brought up.
And one of the things at the meeting that was brought up was one of the citizens were complaining about he has a house that's built, very expensive house. How would this affect the property value in the neighborhood?
Well, absolutely. One of the issues that you have to look at as far as the property value is you have to understand that in the event that a community is overrun, the property values will go down anyways. In the event that we overbuild permanently, when the transient workers pull out, the real estate market will crash anyways. And so really what transient housing does, it stabilizes. Doesn't necessarily add to, doesn't necessarily take away, but it secures and it builds a foundation for the market, so that the market does not make wild curves. It doesn't wildly go up, it doesn't wildly come down. There's a stability to the market, and that's what across the nation these individual camps, these individual communities, transient communities have done to those markets. They have stabilized the market, so there's not drastic highs, drastic lows, but that community is stabilized. Of course, and maybe this is a whole nother video clip, what we want to talk about our exit strategy. Every camp, transient units like these and modular units have to have an exit strategy. These units have to come down, they have to go away, and what replaces them? Again, that property will then be Mount Olive Baptist Churches, again, because it's just the lease, it will return to us. And there's some great things that we look forward to doing for our community that will make sure that if we can stabilize the market, that will make sure that after this, the market continues to increase with our exit strategy.
Now, talking about the community, how will the local community become better after Rosie's place?
You know, it won't just be after Rosie's place. It's going to be while they're there. Okay. There's some great things that we have planned, some things that our national partners have consistently done throughout all of their camps that they've run, from North Dakota over to places over in New Mexico and in Canada. Everywhere they've gone, they've had community service days where they ensure that individuals from those camps who are very talented craftsmen come out to parks like we're in today and build new apparatuses and increase the capacity of those facilities, and that's something that we plan on doing right out the gate. We're not going to wait till we, come down off of it and now figure out what can we do from the community. That the community improvement is going to be a part of what we do from day one. As well as not only are we looking at the infrastructure, and we've talked about that and the potential for that to expand, but also getting out into the community. One of the things that we've designed into our camp that is not in, I believe, any other camp that is proposed, is we have about 16, if we go up to capacity, 16 retail spots that will be available. We've done that specifically to give small businesses in our community an opportunity, and it will be outside of the gate, so they can continue to serve their current clientele, but also have an expansion of potentially 2,800 clientele right there where they are. And so that small business opportunity is something that we feel is essential to the across-the-board growth of our community. And so that's very, very important for us. So all of those things, all of those aspects are very important to us, as well as there will be various different contracts directly with the community that we encourage small businesses and other businesses in our area to apply for. We're talking about modular units that will be built out of state, will have to be transported. We know we've got quite a few trucking companies here. We want to hear from them. When those units get here, they'll have to be attached to the ground, have to be, the plumbing will have to be tied in. We want to talk to local contractors about doing that. When those facilities are up and running, someone will have to cook, someone will have to clean, someone will have to do the laundry for those facilities, someone will have to secure the facility as well. And so those are many, many various different contracts that will be available. We've counted 10 to 15 potential very large contracts that will be available for small business as well. So